Hey everybody, it's your boy Captain Hunter coming at you again. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Make sure that you go ahead and hit that rate, subscribe, and share button. Make it do what it do. Let's make sure that this information is getting out there, going and growing. I want to jump in here real quick and let's talk about some instances that we need to talk about within our community, within our male community, right? Try to make men be the best versions of themselves and try to make sure that we keep our young men out of the CJ system, criminal justice system. Make sure we do what we got to do to make sure that they are the best versions of themselves, best fathers, best brothers, best uncles, best nephews, best cousins, best sons, and everything along those lines. We got to make sure that we're doing all that we can. And a number of those things that we can do and should be doing in order to ensure that that is happening is ensuring that these individuals are getting good parenting advice, good fatherly advice, good brotherly advice, all the different types of men's advice that we're giving them, that information out there. I really think that this type of information is important and can be certain to be lessons learned. The first video that was sent to me is very disturbing, in all honesty. I saw it on Facebook. Somebody sent it to me, and I really want to talk about this as far as from a male perspective, from a man's perspective, as well as from a legal perspective. So the first video that we're going to get into, let's just get into it. Let's watch it. Here we go.
So, y'all do me a favor, man. We got a brother in the building, a young man, a very young man, celebrating his birthday tonight. He's been in Suno with us since day one, since this motherfucker opened. This gentleman sitting at the bar, Mr. Mars, is in his young 80s.
Oh, shit. Okay, so we're going to stop it right there. We're going to continue to let it play. And so what we can see here is there's a lot to unpack here, right? So it says down at the bottom, it says security's fired. And what I like to do, and I think I would assume that many other people like to do, is they like to click on the comments, check out the comments, and all that. So what we can see here is that these individuals are having a hard time controlling their emotions. Now, let's just take this for what it is. I don't know anything about the story. I haven't read about the story. I don't know if the young man in black is actually a member of the security team for this restaurant, bar, wherever they're at. I don't know any of that. But let's just assume that he is. You can see here quite plainly, quite clearly that, he's going to make a motioning hands. Okay, why don't you have a seat, brother? No, I'm not going to sit down. The guy in the white says. Then he gets in his face. Listen, we got to make better decisions. We got to make better decisions from a male perspective, from a black male perspective, and from a security perspective. You got to make better decisions. This is a bad decision. He instigated the fight. Get in the man's face. We all know how machismo works, how testosterone works, how nobody wants to sit there and be punked down, whatever you want to call it, whatever terminology or whatever verbiage you want to put to it. This is where everything starts to go wrong. He may have had the security bouncer or the individuals may have had a situation wherein they just couldn't agree on whatever. Sit down, stop talking to me, you stepped on my shoe, why are you talking to my girl, you looked at my car, whatever it is, we don't know what it was. However, once you start to get in the guy's face, and this becomes problematic. You can't allow your emotions. You can't allow your thought process to one up someone else, to degrade someone else, to put them in their place, to overshadow reason, logic, and all that. And too many times, this overshadowing of our reason, of our logic, is what causes so many of us to be in early graves or in prison, giving time to the state instead of giving time to our children and to our families. This is the exact incident that happens. And so we can see here as we continue to play this here, it gets in his face, punches start being thrown, right? And you can see from another perspective, right? So I'm going to peep you guys up on a little bit of game here that the officers are often guided by, is watch the guy's hands. You notice the guy's talking with his hands in his pocket. As one's famous meme that went along said, dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. Don't confront a person when they're constantly got their hands in their pockets. I'm talking about from a civilian perspective, or from if you're a security bouncer or whatever. Don't approach people like this, right? He's got his hands in his pockets, and now punches start being thrown, and then he immediately goes to the gun. This is not a defensive. This is not an instance of serious bodily physical injury. This is not an instance of imminent threat of harm, of death. So unless you have those two instances as a civilian where you are in mortal danger, where your life is being threatened, or if and when you are facing serious bodily injury. What is serious bodily injury? Well, maybe you're going to lose an eye. Maybe he's going to stab you in the liver, or something along those lines where you can sustain some type of injury to yourself, which your body will never ever be able to be repaired or be the same again. That is considered a serious bodily injury, and those are the instances. Those are the two instances: serious bodily injury or the face of imminent death, that you can pull out your firearm and shoot at someone. Maybe written in different ways in different states, but those are essentially the two scenarios in which you can pull out your firearm and then shoot at someone. And listen, you get in someone's face, you try to punk them down, and the first thing that you go to is the gun. Weak. We got to be able to control our emotions. We got to be able to control ourselves. We got to be able to throw hands. You got to be able to handle yourself in a manner that is conducive of being gentlemanly while defending yourself. So listen, this is bad from all the way around, right? Two guys standing up, neither one of them wanting to back down, and nobody wants to be seen as weak. I get that. Nobody wants to walk away. Nobody wants to make it seem, especially if your woman is there or you got other guys there. You just don't want to be that guy who seems to be the one who's backing down, punking down, right? And this is why so many people often fight with the police or fight with security, because they don't want to be told what to do. But then with security, if this is correct, and if the comments that I read in this particular TikTok video are correct, if they were correct, and this guy was a security or bouncer, he was absolutely wrong for getting in his face. He was absolutely wrong for going off and tackling this individual, getting in his face, and then once he starts to receive some blows to the face and around about the head, he then pulls out his firearm. Shoots at the guy. I don't know if he hit him. I don't know if the guy's dead. I don't know if the guy's. I don't know anything about the story. I'm just talking about what we see, because a lot of times what we see is what we see, the public, in TikTok videos and in other videos. We don't get the full and complete story, and so this is the problem that happens so many times: is we don't get the full complete story, and next thing you know, everybody's running around with it. And I'm trying to give out good information here, and which tells people about right and wrong and making better decisions in our lives. So what do we take from this? When and if you're at a bar, when and if you're at a club or any other social event, and security starts telling you what to do, as long as security is cordial, professional in the way that they are approaching you, do what they have to say. If you're having a beef with somebody else, maybe he's not security, maybe just you guys just get into an argument, don't see eye to eye or whatever, you got to be able to be the mature person, be able to walk away while maintaining your manhood. I understand that may seem to be a contradiction, but we got to figure this thing out. You got to be able to figure this thing out. If and when you're in a confrontation with someone, whether they are security, a bouncer, or they're just a regular routine civilian, you guys colognes just don't get along for some reason, and you feel the need to get in each other's faces, watch the other guy's hands. If the guy's talking with his hands in his pockets, it won't take him out of his pockets. Listen, that this person, he may be packing something and it's not worth it. These are conversations my grandmother had with me. I can remember my pastor talking about, he was having an argument. This is back in the 40s or 50s. He had an argument with some guy, and the guy kept his hands in his pockets. Listen, this is not the way. It's not the way. It's not the way. So we got to be able to solve our differences using our words, using our language, and still maintain our manhood and all that. So what would I say if I was in a situation? I would talk to the guy. I wouldn't let the guy get in my face. If he got in my face, yo, back up, put my hands up, yo, back up, don't get in my face, whatever's whatever. I'm keeping my eyes on his demeanor, on his hands and everything like that. And eventually you got to come to the place where, listen, people's need for respect and all that is trumping their reason and their logic. You got some, and this comes off as seeming unmanly. It does. It seems like you want to be able to defend yourself. You don't want to back down in front of your woman. You don't want to be seen as weak. You don't want to be seen as soft, being easy to be taken advantage of. I get that. I understand that. But here's the alternative to that. Now the guy is dead, shot at, or whatever. Two people's lives and two families' lives can be ruined because two grown adults don't know how to have a conversation or have a disagreement without shooting at each other, right? So the guy who shoots at the guy, I can almost guarantee you the security guard got arrested. I can almost guarantee that especially if this video, if there's not more to this video, I'm almost guaranteeing he would get arrested. I know I would do a warrant for his arrest. And the guy, if he got hit, right, his life has changed forever, right? He's been shot. He may be dead. He may be crippled. He may, have to undergo surgeries. Who knows what all this is? We got to be able to make better decisions. All right, let's get into the next video here. All right, next video also comes from Facebook. Another video that was sent to me talking about what they want to allege, or people want to allege, is police brutality. I am not going to play the soundtrack because the soundtrack is from NWA, F the Police. And so what we can see here from the beginning is a couple of officers, about 4 or 5 officers are trying to wrestle with an individual. And of course, the narrative behind the story is that they want to say that this individual was being brutalized by the police. We can't hear the sound. Once again, I'm doing that on purpose because of the soundtrack in the back there. But we can see these officers, putting them down. We can see another officer standing on the left side of the screen, trying to wrench their hands behind their back. The sergeant there is trying to put his face down so he can't prop himself up. So the question is this police brutality? It is not. Is this excessive force? More than likely, I would say that it is not. Why would I say that it's not? Well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th officer in the back there, right? It looks like they're running a diamond 1 formation, not a diamond 1. 1-3-1 defense if they're on the basketball court. Why is this not police brutality, or why is this not excessive force? Well, there's no serious punches being thrown. I don't see any punches being thrown. I don't see any rib shots. I don't see anything along those lines. I don't see any of that. I don't see any tasers. I don't, all that. What I see is these guys, or these particular officers, trying to wrestle this guy down, trying to put his hands behind his back. Keep in mind, whenever you watch these types of videos, you don't see what happened before. We see a little bit what's going on during, and I can say that wholeheartedly that the video has been edited because there's looping going on, number one, and number two, there's a soundtrack, and we don't know if there's anything that's been cut out and spliced and all that. So we don't have the full video. So we're still waiting for body cam footage and all that. I'm only commenting on this because it was sent to me and people wanted me to take a look at it. So this guy Gordon Cole, I guess, is trending now and all that. So this is not police brutality. This is not excessive force or anything along those lines. So the officers are using some restraints techniques, trying to get the guy's hands behind his back. So keep officers to these guys. Keep doing what you're doing. I know this. It is what it is, right? So, and to the people out there, right? Men, become the best versions of yourselves. Stop fighting with the police. Stop this type of behavior. Put your hands behind your back. Don't argue. Don't fuss. Don't fight. And if you think that you're being wronged, sue them. Sue them. That's the answer to that. Sue them. Don't do these types of things. So, having said that, these are the videos I want to go over, right? This is not excessive force. We got to make better decisions, better choices. Got to make better choices. So therefore, we don't end up in these situations. These situations that I presented to you today are the direct results of the actions of individuals who refuse to back down, who let their machismo, their testosterone overstep their thinking, We got to make better decisions. You can still make a good decision and still retain your manhood. You can still make a good decision and still retain your masculinity. You can still make a good decision and retain the respect of the woman that you're trying to get or with or whatever. And if she can't respect you making a good decision so you don't end up shot, if you don't end up arrested, if you don't end up doing time, if you don't end up crippled, if you don't end up in the grave, if she can't respect that, then she's not worthy of your respect in the first place. Let's just leave it there at that. All right? Much love and peace, everyone. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, some of your videos, and I'll break them down. Men, we got to become the best versions of ourselves, and let's make better decisions out there.